Ladies and gentlemen, there is a universal law at work in the world, a law that governs success, prosperity, and the unfolding of our deepest desires. Yet, very few understand it, and fewer still apply it with conscious intent. This is why only a small fraction of people ever rise above mediocrity and step into the fullness of their potential. The reason the vast majority of people struggle is simple. They are unwittingly allowing doubt, fear, and negative beliefs to dictate their lives. These invisible forces, though unseen, have tangible effects. They create limitations, delay success, and keep the soul bound in cycles of frustration. Only those who recognize the power of thought and word, and who deliberately align themselves with the infinite, can rise into the rarefied air of the 1%. Consider this. Every thought you hold is a seed. Every word you speak is a proclamation that shapes the very world around you. If you sow thoughts of limitation, lack, or defeat, your life will mirror these seeds, producing only scarcity, struggle, and disappointment. But when you plant thoughts of abundance, health, joy, and confidence, the universe answers, bringing circumstances and opportunities that reflect the richness of your inner vision. The successful understand that life does not need to be fought or wrestled into submission. Life responds effortlessly to the vibration of faith, clarity, and unwavering purpose. They know that obstacles are only illusions, challenges are lessons, and resistance is a call to examine their own inner world. What you see outside is a reflection of what you hold inside. To transform your outer world, you must first transform your inner self. Many fail because they are chained to the opinions of others, held captive by conventional thinking, or entangled in the belief that luck and circumstances are the arbiters of success. The 1%, however, recognize that life is governed by laws, and that harmony with these laws ensures effortless progress. They speak words of power, act from a place of faith, and refuse to entertain thoughts that diminish their strength. It is not talent, education, or opportunity alone that distinguishes the few from the many. It is the conscious mastery of the invisible forces at work within and around them. They know that gratitude attracts abundance, generosity opens doors, and love and forgiveness clear the path for their desires to manifest. Every action, every choice, every moment of conscious thought is a brushstroke painting the canvas of their destiny. Those who succeed rise above fear by trusting the intelligence of the universe. They do not beg, plead, or struggle against the current of life. Instead, they speak in affirmations of victory, visualize their desires as already fulfilled, and walk each day in the confident expectation that the universe conspires in their favor. There is no hesitation, no indecision, and no procrastination. They act in alignment with their vision, confident that the invisible forces are working on their behalf. And so, if you desire to join the ranks of those who truly succeed, you must first learn to govern your thoughts. You must refuse to dwell on what is lacking, to fret over failure, or to replay old disappointments. Instead, you must consciously choose thoughts of abundance, health, harmony, and joy. You must speak words of faith, make decisions with courage, and act as though your desires are already yours. The universe is never in a hurry, yet it never fails. It is always ready to respond to those who align themselves with its law. Remember, the door to prosperity opens from within. Fear, doubt, and worry are the thieves that steal your opportunity, but faith, clarity, and the spoken word are the keys that unlock the treasure. So today, make a vow to yourself. To speak only words that empower, to think only thoughts that uplift, and to act only from a place of conscious purpose. The 1% do not achieve greatness because they are better or luckier. They succeed because they understand the language of the universe, and they live it every single day. Your life is a reflection of the invisible laws at work within you. Choose wisely, speak boldly, believe unwaveringly. The world will respond as you direct it, and your vision will manifest in perfect alignment with the eternal law. Every individual possesses within themselves a creative power so great, so all-encompassing, that it governs the very circumstances of life. This power is the power of thought and word, the invisible force that shapes reality in ways both subtle and profound. It is not something to be taken lightly, for it determines the course of every life, the nature of every experience, and the quality of every relationship and opportunity. To understand this is to step into the mastery of life, to recognize that the world outside is nothing more than a reflection of the inner landscape. Those who fail to grasp this truth drift through life, buffeted by chance and circumstance, never fully aware that the brushstrokes of their reality are painted by the mind and spoken word. Thoughts are seeds. Every idea, every notion, every internal dialogue carries with it the potential to manifest in form. When a thought is held firmly in the mind, when it is nurtured and repeated, it begins to grow, taking root in the unseen fields of consciousness. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, it draws sustenance from attention, expectation, and emotion. If the thought is one of fear, limitation, or self-doubt, it will sprout barriers, delays, and obstacles. If the thought is one of courage, abundance, and possibility, it will generate opportunities, clarity, and progress. The mind does not differentiate between good or bad in moral terms. It merely mirrors the vibration, the energy, the expectation of the thought itself. But thought alone is not enough. The spoken word acts as the amplifier of thought. Words carry vibration, and they create patterns in the unseen ether that quickly take form in the physical world. When you speak words of limitation, complaint, or despair, you are sending a signal to the universe that attracts more of the same. When you speak words of affirmation, faith, and vision, you are declaring to the universe that you are aligned with abundance and success. Words are not empty. They are the instruments through which intention crystallizes into reality. It is for this reason that one must guard the lips as carefully as the mind. Idle speech, gossip, or negativity is more than trivial. It is a powerful act of creation in the wrong direction. Consider the lives of those who have succeeded against all odds. What is the common thread that runs through every story of triumph? It is not simply hard work, education, or talent alone, though these may accompany success. It is the deliberate, conscious use of thought and word as instruments of creation. They understood early that the mind and speech are not merely reflections of the outer world, they are the architects of that world. They began by choosing thoughts deliberately, rejecting the habitual patterns of fear and limitation, and substituting them with visions of what they desired, as though those visions were already reality. They spoke boldly, affirming their right to success, their capacity for growth, and their alignment with the infinite intelligence that governs all life. There is an exactness to this law that cannot be ignored. It is impartial, indiscriminate, and always precise. If you harbor resentment, it will find a way to manifest in circumstances that evoke resistance, struggle, and conflict. If you nurture faith and confidence, doors will open where there appeared to be none, and opportunities will align with your intention. This law operates silently, continuously, whether or not you are aware of it, and it responds not to what you wish, but to what you truly hold as real in the depths of your consciousness. Therefore, mastery over thought and word is not merely a tool for success, it is the foundation of life itself. Many fail because they are unaware of the subtle yet potent influence of their own thinking. They allow the chatter of the mind, the opinions of others, and the illusions of circumstance to dictate their reality. When they encounter setbacks, they murmur about bad luck or unfair conditions, unaware that each complaint and negative thought is a seed planted for more lack and struggle. Conversely, those who succeed are vigilant, constantly monitoring their internal dialogue. They are careful not only about the words they speak aloud, but about the thoughts they entertain silently. They recognize that imagination is the workshop of the mind, and the soul will fashion into life whatever is first conceived and then spoken. The power of thought and word is also evident in the way people attract relationships and alliances. Those who think positively and speak with grace, confidence, and generosity attract others who resonate with the same vibration. Opportunities appear as if by magic, doors open without force, and solutions arise to problems that once seemed insurmountable. Conversely, negative thought patterns and careless speech repel assistance, foster misunderstanding, and prolong struggle. This is not coincidence, it is the inevitable outcome of the creative power inherent in mind and word. To harness this power, one must first cultivate awareness. Observe the mind with care, for it is the soil in which the seeds of your future are planted. Catch negative thoughts before they are allowed to take root. Replace every fear, every doubt, every complaint with a thought of faith, clarity, and vision. Speak only those words that uplift, affirm, and declare your alignment with success. Let your speech be measured, deliberate, and intentional. Do not let idle chatter, worry, or criticism steal your creative power. Every word, every thought, every image held in the mind is building your future, whether consciously or unconsciously. Visualization is a practical tool in this mastery. By forming clear mental pictures of the desired outcome and holding them with faith, you are planting seeds that will grow into reality. Speak as though your vision is already accomplished. Declare it with the conviction that the universe must respond. This is the essence of creative thought and the spoken word. They work in tandem to produce form from the invisible, to draw opportunity, and to transform dreams into reality. It is also vital to understand that the law is impersonal and unbiased. It does not reward effort alone, nor punish ignorance with cruelty. It simply mirrors the quality of thought and the power of word. Those who consistently cultivate positive, constructive, and faith-filled thoughts and words reap the rewards in proportion to their consistency and clarity. There is no partiality, no favoritism. There is only the unerring operation of this creative principle. Those who grasp this are the ones who rise into the top tier of achievement, the 1%, because they align themselves consciously with the law rather than stumbling blindly against it. In every moment, life presents a choice, to create consciously or to drift unconsciously. When the choice is made to think with clarity, speak with purpose, and hold faith as a constant companion, circumstances begin to shift. Opportunities manifest where none existed, challenges are met with insight, and progress becomes inevitable. The mind and the word are instruments of infinite power, and the one who understands and applies them shapes a life of ease, success, and fulfillment. Fear is the great thief of human potential. It creeps quietly into the mind, disguising itself as caution or concern, yet it steals from the soul the very energy required to manifest success, abundance, and joy. Every thought rooted in fear weakens the mind, clouds judgment, and diminishes the natural power that is innate within each individual. Those who are bound by fear struggle endlessly, as though the universe is against them, unaware that the struggle itself is born of their own internal vibration. To rise above this common state is to understand that fear is nothing more than a mental habit, a habit that can be replaced by faith, which is the natural state of alignment with the universal law. Faith is not mere wishful thinking or idle hope. It is the confident expectation of good, the unwavering belief that the unseen forces of life operate in harmony with those who act from clarity, purpose, and love. Faith is an inner knowing, a certainty that what is spoken and imagined in alignment with truth will manifest. When faith governs thought and word, fear loses its power, hesitation disappears, and the path forward becomes clear, illuminated by the inner light of certainty. Those who succeed consistently do so because they have cultivated this internal compass, navigating life with the steady guidance of faith rather than the erratic impulses of fear. Fear manifests in countless subtle ways. It appears as self-doubt, worry about the future, hesitation to act, or dependence on external validation. It convinces individuals that they are too small, too inexperienced, or too unworthy to claim the success that is their divine right. It whispers that the circumstances are unfair, the competition too strong, or that luck is required rather than law. Yet these are illusions, mere reflections of an untrained mind. Fear is always rooted in the imagination. An imagination, when aligned with faith, can transform obstacles into opportunities, scarcity into abundance, and limitations into gateways of growth. Faith, on the other hand, produces a vibratory signature that attracts the unseen support of life. It opens doors where none seem to exist, aligns circumstances in unexpected ways, and draws the right people, resources, and events into one's experience. To act in faith is to release resistance, to trust in the intelligence of the universe, and to recognize that life is not a battle to be fought, but a river to be navigated with clarity and confidence. The individual who steps forward in faith is never truly alone, for the invisible forces always align with the focused intention of the mind and the spoken word. The key to cultivating faith is first the recognition of fear. One must be vigilant in observing thoughts, acknowledging when worry, doubt, or anxiety arises, and refusing to indulge it. Fear must not be denied or suppressed, for denial gives it secret power. It must be recognized, confronted, and replaced with an inner affirmation of truth. Replace the thought of limitation with a vision of possibility, the thought of defeat with a declaration of victory, the thought of lack with a conscious expectation of abundance. This is not mere positive thinking, it is the deliberate exercise of the creative power that governs life itself. Faith is strengthened through repeated, deliberate practice. Each moment that one chooses belief over fear, courage over hesitation, and clarity over confusion, the inner strength grows. It becomes easier to dismiss doubt, to refuse worry, and to act with the confidence that the universe responds only to the quality of one's inner state. When action is taken from fear, energy is wasted, and results are delayed or compromised. When action is taken from faith, energy is multiplied, doors open effortlessly, and results are accelerated in ways that appear almost miraculous to the untrained observer. It is also essential to understand that fear is never based on reality, but on perception. Circumstances, appearances, or the opinions of others may provoke fear, yet these externalities have no power in themselves. The mind imbues them with meaning, and the spoken word reinforces their effect. Faith operates by removing the mind from the influence of false appearances and aligning it with the law of abundance, intelligence, and creative order. In this way, one is no longer swayed by the seeming impossibilities of the material world, but remains steadfast in the assurance that life operates with perfect intelligence and will always deliver in accordance with the inner vibration of belief. Many fail to rise above fear because they attempt to reason it away. They study circumstances, analyze probabilities, and argue with doubt, not realizing that the mind cannot reason itself out of its own creation. Fear is not conquered by logic, it is dissolved by the stronger force of faith. Faith is not dependent on conditions, past experiences, or the opinions of others. It is a self-sustaining power that grows as it is exercised, providing clarity where there was confusion, courage where there was hesitation, and vision where there was uncertainty. Another essential aspect of faith is the spoken word. Fear expresses itself not only in thought, but in speech. Every complaint, every worry voiced aloud, strengthens the vibration of fear and invites corresponding conditions into manifestation. Conversely, words of affirmation, gratitude, and certainty reinforce faith, projecting a signal into the universe that aligns circumstances with inner belief. Therefore, vigilance is required not only in thought but in speech, for words are the instruments through which inner convictions are translated into the outer world. The 1% who succeed consistently understand this law intuitively. They never allow fear to dictate action, decision, or speech. When faced with difficulty, they do not react with panic or hesitation but pause, recalibrate their mind, and act from the center of faith. They see obstacles not as barriers, but as invitations to exercise their inner power, to deepen their trust, and to move with deliberate intention. In every circumstance, they maintain a conscious connection to the unseen forces, knowing that life responds to alignment, not struggle. Faith is also inseparable from gratitude. To act in faith is to acknowledge, even before the manifestation, that the desired outcome is already in process. Gratitude accelerates the law, turning expectation into reality. When one expresses appreciation for unseen results, when one celebrates what is coming into being, the vibration is elevated, resistance is removed, and life responds with increasing harmony. Those who fear the future fail to recognize that gratitude is a bridge between desire and manifestation, a tool that strengthens faith and diminishes fear. It is not talent, education, or circumstance alone that allows the few to rise above fear. It is their unwavering practice of faith. They understand that life is a mirror, and the reflection depends entirely on the inner state. They refuse to entertain thoughts that contradict their vision. They speak with confidence and clarity, and they act decisively in accordance with their belief. Fear may appear externally in challenges, setbacks, or opposition, but internally, the one who lives by faith remains calm, centered, and unshaken, knowing that every experience is being orchestrated to fulfill the perfect outcome. Faith is the law in motion, the invisible current that guides all things toward harmony and abundance. It is not passive. It demands action, but action taken from alignment rather than resistance. It transforms adversity into opportunity, scarcity into abundance, and limitation into mastery. The mind trained in faith, the lips guided by truth, and the heart filled with gratitude becomes a magnet for success, drawing to itself circumstances, relationships, and opportunities that correspond perfectly with the inner vision. To cultivate faith is to cultivate freedom, clarity, and power. To replace fear with faith is to step into the rarefied state of those who succeed consistently, to walk a path of effortless manifestation, and to experience life as a continuous unfolding of the desires of the soul. Every person carries within themselves an invisible blueprint that dictates the form of their life. This blueprint is crafted from the alignment of thought, word, and intention with the universal law. When the inner world is in harmony, the outer world naturally reflects abundance, clarity, and fulfillment. Conversely, when the inner self is conflicted, fearful, or distracted, the outer circumstances become chaotic, delayed, or unproductive. True success, therefore, does not begin in the external realm. It begins in the quiet, unseen chambers of the mind and heart, where alignment with universal principles produces results that appear effortless and inevitable. To achieve outer success, one must first master the inner self. The mind, heart, and spirit must move together as one harmonious force, directed toward the vision of what is desired. Conflicting thoughts, desires, or emotions create friction in the unseen realm, producing resistance that manifests as delays, confusion, or obstacles in the physical world. It is the individual who consistently aligns their inner world who maintains clarity of thought, purity of intention, and faith in the unseen law who experiences effortless progress and the ease of achievement. The outer world is merely a reflection of this inner state, a mirror that faithfully reproduces the conditions of the soul. Many pursue success externally, striving with determination, ambition, and effort. Yet they fail to recognize that without inner alignment, their labor is often wasted. They chase goals with energy, yet find themselves frustrated by circumstances beyond their control. Their actions may be diligent, but the lack of inner harmony acts as a hidden anchor, pulling them back from the realization of their desires. To create a life of true success, one must reverse this approach. Begin within, cultivate alignment, and allow the external world to respond naturally. This principle is simple yet profound, and it is the key that separates the 1% from the many. Inner alignment begins with conscious awareness of thoughts. Every thought carries a vibrational imprint that resonates with corresponding conditions in life. Thoughts of doubt, limitation, or fear create a resonance that attracts more of the same. Thoughts of faith, clarity, and vision produce an energetic field that draws circumstances in perfect harmony with those inner convictions. Awareness alone is not sufficient. One must actively choose the quality of thought, carefully observing the mind and replacing patterns that produce resistance with those that generate growth and success. The mind must be trained as a disciplined instrument, capable of holding the vision of abundance with unwavering fidelity. Equally important is the alignment of the spoken word with inner intent. Words are the vehicle through which inner alignment manifests outwardly. Speech that contradicts thought undermines the creative process, introducing doubt and confusion into the unseen realm. Conversely, speech that is consistent with inner belief reinforces alignment, broadcasting the vibration of certainty, clarity, and purpose. The one who succeeds consistently is meticulous in the use of words, never allowing idle chatter, complaints, or negative declarations to disrupt the harmony of their inner state. Every word spoken is intentional, a conscious act of creation that supports the vision held within. Action is the natural expression of inner alignment. When thoughts and words are harmonized with faith and clarity, action becomes effortless, intuitive, and powerful. The individual does not struggle against circumstances but moves with the current of life, guided by an inner sense of timing, opportunity, and direction. Resistance diminishes because the inner state is coherent and undistracted, producing results that appear almost miraculous to those who observe from the outside. This alignment ensures that every effort is multiplied, every decision is supported, and every opportunity is recognized and seized. The outer world becomes a faithful servant to the inner law, manifesting circumstances in perfect correspondence with the inner state. Emotions also play a critical role in alignment. Negative emotions such as anger, resentment, or envy introduce dissonance into the inner field, disrupting the flow of creative energy and attracting conditions that reflect these vibrations. Positive emotions, particularly love, gratitude, and joy, harmonize the inner state and amplify the power of thought and word. The one who understands this cultivates emotional discipline, not by suppressing feelings, but by consciously choosing to dwell in states that support clarity, abundance, and success. Emotion is the fuel of inner alignment. When properly directed, it accelerates manifestation and strengthens the magnetic power of the soul. Another crucial aspect of inner alignment is the release of attachment to outcome. Many fail because they cling to specific forms, methods, or timelines, creating resistance when circumstances do not conform to expectation. True alignment recognizes the difference between intention and attachment. One must hold the vision firmly, act decisively, and maintain faith that the universe will respond in the perfect manner and timing. By releasing attachment to how the result must appear, the individual allows the infinite intelligence of life to orchestrate the unfolding of desires in ways that often exceed human imagination. Flexibility in approach, combined with unwavering clarity of vision, ensures that the inner state remains harmonious even in the face of apparent obstacles. Gratitude is the bridge between inner alignment and outer manifestation. By expressing appreciation for what is already present and for what is coming into being, the individual reinforces harmony and signals to the universe that the mind and heart are in resonance with the desired outcome. Gratitude elevates vibration, clears resistance, and opens the door for opportunities, solutions, and circumstances that align with the vision. Without gratitude, even clear thoughts, words, and intentions can be weakened by subtle resistance, slowing the manifestation of success and obscuring the natural flow of life. The consistent practice of alignment produces not only success but also resilience. When inner harmony is cultivated, challenges are met not with fear or despair, but with calm, discernment, and intelligent action. Setbacks are recognized as temporary conditions, invitations to refine thought and deepen faith. Resistance is viewed as an opportunity to strengthen inner alignment, rather than a threat to achievement. The one who masters this art does not falter in the face of difficulty, because the inner law is always present, unwavering, and reliable. Inner alignment ensures that every experience, positive or seemingly negative, contributes to growth, expansion, and ultimate success. Those who rise above the ordinary understand that life itself is a reflection of inner state. Circumstances, people, and events are mirrors that reveal the level of alignment within. When conflict appears outside, it signals the presence of discord within. When opportunities abound, it reflects inner clarity and harmony. By observing the external world without judgment, one gains insight into the quality of inner alignment and can make adjustments as necessary to restore harmony. The outer world thus becomes a feedback mechanism, guiding the individual toward deeper coherence and greater mastery over life's circumstances. To cultivate inner alignment requires deliberate, ongoing practice. Begin each day with clarity of thought, a firm vision of purpose, and affirmations that reinforce belief in the law of life. Guard the mind against negative influences, choose words with intention, act decisively, and nurture emotions that support abundance and joy. Maintain faith in the unseen, release attachment to form, and express gratitude for all that is and all that is coming. Over time, this practice produces a field of energetic coherence that attracts conditions perfectly suited to the vision, resulting in a life of effortless manifestation, harmony, and enduring success.